Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about The Haunting Hour Scary Mary. I love this episode. This episode is creepy and freaky like I don't know what. And it gets pretty scary. And there's a really good jump scare at one point towards the end of the first half of this episode because it's a two-parter. Now, what's really cool is that the guy who directed this, he directed a couple of other Haunting Hour episodes that I liked as well. He played the father in Wizards of Waverly Place. Peter, I don't know how to say his last name, Delazy, something like that. Yeah, he directed some of these. He even starred in one episode later on in a couple of seasons of this show. And he does a really good job at directing. Like, there was this one scene that was just creepy and everything. So, like, Scary Mary, in case you couldn't tell because of the name, is basically based off of Bloody Mary. And yeah, it's the whole thing. You go in a dark room, you say the name 3 times, and scary stuff's supposed to happen type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I, for one, as a child, when I heard of Bloody Mary, I have always been, like, freaked. Till this day, I have never done that. I know there's no such thing as ghosts, but I just don't want to take that chance. Because when you see, that's the problem, man. When you tell little kids stuff, kids are programmable. When you tell them stuff, sometimes that stuff like stays with them until they get older. Like, yeah, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I think I tried to do it, but I just couldn't do it. So I punked out like after the second one or something like that. But I just can't do it. Oh man, I swear. But yeah, this is a really good episode. It's a two-parter. And it entails a girl named Hannah, a very lovely girl who's very insecure how she looks. She thinks she's not pretty, which she actually is, but she thinks she's not. So what does she do? She hates looking at mirrors because she don't want to see like her face. So she covers them up with like pictures and stuff. And she has a group of friends that she constantly hangs out with. There is Jake, there is Tyler, Sam, and Amber. Wait, is his name Jake? I think so. Geez, let's see. Let's see. No, Eric, not Jake, it's Eric. Eric is like the guy she crushes on and stuff. And so they're all in her room one night and they're just kind of like bored, and Taylor, which is Eric's friend, he's all like, hey, why don't we play Scary Mary? Nobody's never heard that game. See, he's from another like city and he just moved there. And so like, you know, and so they all like, we never heard of it, so they're gonna play the game. So he tells them what it entails. Scary Mary was a woman back in the olden days, like the Victorian days, Pilgrim days, stuff like that. She was this very lovely woman who was very insecure, and all she ever wanted was like a boyfriend husband type thing, but could never get one. Then one day, she always plays the piano. One day, like there was a house fire and she got burnt alive. And they found her body. It was all scarred and burnt and all this other stuff, right? So the thing is, what you do is that you go and you find a mirror. You turn off all the lights. You get candles and you say Scary Mary 3 times and she's supposed to appear. And so they're all like, fine, let's do it. But Hannah doesn't want to do it. Hannah does not like being scared. But they don't have a chance to play because Hannah's mom comes in and tells them like, you know, the boys have to leave. The girls can still stay, spend the night, whatever. And because the mom's gonna go like, I think like on a date or something like that. So the boys leave and the mom leaves, so the girls are like, hey, Amber and Sam are like, let's play Scary Mary. And Hannah's like, no. But they're like, oh, we're playing and everything. So they go into like the bathroom where there's like a mirror. They take the candle and they say Scary Mary 3 times. And then as soon as they do that, like Hannah just kind of like, she's almost in like a trance. When she turns around, her 2 friends are gone. So she's walking around the dark house with a candle, scared out her mind, talking about like, where are you guys? Constantly calling out their name, talking about, when I find you, I'm gonna kill you and everything. To So then, of course, they jump out and they scare her. But here's the thing. When she leaves the bathroom, you can see Mary's like body and face in the mirror. And so at some point in time, every time Hannah goes somewhere, wherever there's a reflection, whether it's water, whether it's a mirror, you constantly see Mary in the reflection and calling out to Hannah when like she's at this place called the Nook, which is just like a part near like a river and stuff, like where the kids hang out. Like there's a bunch of old furniture that people threw out around it, so they sit on it and stuff. That's gross. Okay, I never understood why people do that. Like I've always seen this in TV shows. I saw it in Are You Afraid of the Dark? Ackley Bridges. There's always like somebody throwing out like a couch or like a chair that's like really dirty out in the middle of nowhere, and people just sit on it. That is gross and nasty. You know how many germs on that thing? You know that lizards and bugs and frogs live in moldy old like stuff that they can hide in, you know? I once threw out my bed frames and old mattress one time. And so as I was waiting for the guard people to take it, yeah, there was like frogs and stuff living in there. And it was only like a couple of days it's been out. And I remember one time when I was in high school, I used to walk back from school and I used to cut home in this open field. And then this open field with this giant couch in the middle of nowhere. So do you know what I did? I walked past it. I never sat in it. That's gross and nasty. So anyway, she's there and she's been acting weird ever since the Scary Mary game. And so like, Eric is like talking to her and stuff, and he kind of has a crush on her, and he doesn't like it when his friend makes fun of her and stuff, and he defends her and everything, and like he really defends her and stuff. And so like she just tells him she can't stop thinking about Mary, like she feels bad for like Mary and stuff like that. Also, what's really interesting is that Scary Mary was the first episode in the Haunting Hour to get one of those little rating things up in the corner before an episode starts. And to tell you that, you know, this show might be too spooky for some young kids, we suggest watching it with your parents or something like that. And it was like, and since then, they started doing that in every episode because the Haunting Hour got a bit more darker than Goosebumps ever did. Now, ironically, Mary is actually played by multiple people. I'll explain why multiple people later on in this episode, but I don't understand something. There's two different Marys. There's a voice Mary and there's a live action Mary. The voice Mary is played by one actress who just calls out the people through the mirror. And then there's another Mary that we actually see and stuff like that. And I don't understand why they're played by two different people. Why couldn't the woman who plays her in live action just couldn't call out the name? Maybe she couldn't do it properly or something like that. Who knows? But anyway. So yeah, every time she walks by like a reflection, there's Mary trying to grab her, trying to like look at her. Then when she's taking a shower, she walked past the mirror and the mirror is fine. But then all of a sudden, something starts writing on the mirror talking about "you are pretty," and it's Mary and stuff. And so then at some point in time, Hannah starts to act so strangely that she forgets to do her chores around the house, which pisses off her mom. Her mom really lays into her, talking about how, you know, like, I'm a single mom, I have to work, you know, at least you can do is just the chores, and we had an agreement, and like, I don't like coming home to like a dirty house. Like, who is she? Her husband? That's your daughter, man. You don't talk to her like that. To my, I don't like coming home to a dirty house. Man, that is not your husband. And so anyway, so her and Hannah constantly get into it, where Hannah starts to like just get rude with her and stuff. And this is very striking to the mom because Hannah has never done that. So then one day, Hannah's still like in a weird trance. It's like she like just walks to like I think no, something happens. At some point she does find a brush, and the brush belongs to Mary because it has an M on it and it's burnt. and she just looks at the brush. And I think she starts brushing her hair with it at one point. So then next thing you know, she goes to like the mall at night and she buys a bunch of like beauty supplies, which is unusual for her because she doesn't like makeup and she doesn't like looking pretty. So as she's walking back from like, the beauty place, she sees Eric and he's kind of like, why do you come back from the beauty place for? You don't even like makeup. And then she keeps telling him, oh no, how she just can't stop thinking about Mary, how she feels sad for Mary and everything. And he's kind of creeped out by this. And then she tells him how she found like a brush and it had like a giant M on it. So he gets mad because he thinks that his friend pranking her because his friend wanted to prank her at one point, but Eric wouldn't let him. So he gets into a scuffle with his friend. His friend's all like, look, man, I didn't do it. Your friend's just weird and all this other stuff. So then her mom sees Hannah and Hannah was doing the chores, but then she stopped and then she started putting on her makeup. So the mom's pretty pissed because the vacuum cleaner is just running by itself and there's a cracked mirror. And so the cracked mirror came from Mary because she's starting to like bust through. And so like the mom confronts her and she's just all like, why did you break the mirror and why didn't you do your chores and when did you start wearing makeup? Are you doing this to impress a boy? And she's all like, no. And then she's all like, look, you're grounded. Like maybe your friends can get away with not doing their chores, but not you. So then her mom leaves. And then so it's just like, and then when her mom is talking to her, you can see like through the mirror, right? Like say you're like in a room and you're looking through the mirror and you see Hannah and her mom. There's a group of young girls. You see the back of their heads just like looking and snickering. Like, who are these young girls? Like, it's really weird and freaky. And then so next thing you know, when the mom leaves, the mom is doing something. She hears a large crack. She runs into Hannah's room. This is when the freaky like jump scare happened. You see it up close. The camera is up close and Hannah's face. There's a hand over her mouth and other hands on top of her head and on her shoulder, grabbing her and gagging her. She's just like trying to scream as loud as she can, but she can't. And she's in like complete terror and fear. And then next thing you know, it pans away from that and you see all these arms holding on to Hannah and gagging her mouth. And they just pull her through the mirror. And it ends in the first part of it. I'm just like, oh my God, like that was just freaky. Like it was so scary. Like you see her in complete fear and all these arms, they just pull her through. It is so creepy. Now, of course, they did it in a way where they removed the glass. So she's just going through complete emptiness, but it's like a nice little Hollywood trick and a nice one at that. The dude from Wizard of Waverly Place, man, my props go to you. And so, like, now all the weird, creepy stuff starts happening in, like, the next episode. We see Hannah. She wakes up in a bed. She's wearing a blue dress. And all of a sudden, a girl walks in with a mask on her face. It's one of those faceless masks that they kind of, like, use in theater. But it's all, like, cracked and decayed. Kind of decayed, kind of like it's brownish, yellowish, kind of. And she comes in, and I forgot what she brings her. I think she probably brings her food or something like that. But she has candles, and the girl is like creeping her out. And so like, and Hannah's all like, "Where am I? Where am I?" And like she's all like, "Am I in Mary's world or something like that?" And she's like, "Yes." And the girl is just like very kind and polite to her, and as Hannah's constantly asking questions, the girl's like, shh, with her hand over like where her mouth would be, like with a mask and stuff. And she's all like, all will be revealed like soon or some crap like that. And it's just like, dude, like she's in like the mirror world or something like that, in Mary's world and everything. And it's creepy because like it's the girl's wearing a dress similar to hers and just that mask, and her hair is very dolled up looking, like them old porcelain doll type things, and it's just freaky looking. So in the real world, everybody's wondering where Hannah is. Eric is wondering. He's when he was talking to like the mom, and she's all like, she don't know, like she's talking to like Amber and them on the phone, and she gets the phone to Jake, and the mom goes to talk to police, and then Jake finds like a brush on like the ground and stuff, and he knows it's that brush that Hannah was talking about. So he takes the brush and he leaves. But here's the interesting thing: Hannah can see him through the mirror, and she's calling out to him, but he can't hear her. The mom can't hear her. So he takes the brush and with him, and he later meets up with his friends later on in the episode. So now the girl comes back to talk to Hannah, and Hannah's all like, "You've been gone for so long," and the girl tells her, "Oh, it only feels that way. I guess time passes differently when you're like going in that world or something like that." So then, like, Hannah's been missing for like 4 days and everything, right? So she's been there for 4 stinking days. And so, like, the girls are like, "Come, it's time to pick out your mask." And so Hannah walks over there, and it's the same type of mask that girl is wearing, but it's more cleaner looking. But all the masks look the same. Well, they basically like, yeah, look the same. And then the girl tells her, "I was told that all these masks look different. Is that true?" Like, the girl can't see, but she can move around like she can see, but she can't see. And there's a reason for that. So Hannah's all like, "I don't want to wear a mask." And she's all like, "You have to wear a mask. Mary does not want to see people's faces." She's like, "Why not?" She's like, "I don't know." And she's all like, "What are you not telling me?" She's like, "I don't know." And then Hannah rips the mask off that girl's face. Ooh, it's not pretty. Her face is like gone. Her eyes are gone. Her lips are gone. Her nose is gone. Basically, it's like this. Pretend like you took like some clay, put it over your face, smoothed it out, and that's what you have left, like a clay looking face with no eyes that are indented in and stuff. The girl literally can't see, she can't smell, she can't eat no more. Somehow she's able to move around like she can see. I don't know how. I guess she can't see. That's the part that's kind of weird. She can see, but she can't. And she has no idea that all the masks look the same. And so she's all like, so the girl gets offended. She's all like, once you put your mask on, something like that, you want nobody looking at your face either. And then she's all like, I'll be back with the rest of the girls and everything. And so Hannah is just like freaked. Now, where they're at, they're in a house. There's a giant barn house next to them. And it's just like an open field in a lake. And it's at night. It's always at night. So Eric, he meets up with his friends and at the Nook, and he's all like, "Look, I have like," and he tells them about what's been going on, but they don't believe him. He shows them the brush. They still don't believe him. They're all like, "You need to take that to the police so they can like run like a DNA trace on it or something like that because it's evidence." And he's all like, "What the police gonna do? Track the hair down of some 100-year-old woman who kidnapped Hannah and everything?" And so they don't know what they're gonna do. But he thinks like, look, he's been like researching stuff online about like stuff like this, and he thinks that the brush is like a talisman, and so he has to find a way to get into Mary's world. And his friends all like, "Man, you're a psycho in the head," you know what I'm saying? But he's like, "Look, what else are they gonna do? Like, y'all played that stupid game with her, and then all this freaky stuff started happening, so we have to try something." So he is like, so they figured, since it has to do with mirrors and stuff, they need like a mirror. So they found like a giant shard of like glass mirror. And so he's there and he's just calling out to Hannah through the mirror. Hannah is now able to hear him. So she's calling out to like Eric and everything. While this is going on, we finally get to see Mary, kinda. She wears a veil over her head because she don't know about seeing her face. That's all like burnt and scarred. And so like there's a tons of now girls in that room with her, and they all have the same mask on their face. They have similar dresses, but they're different colors, and their hair is in that old Victorian style. And so like Mary's just playing her computer on a computer, a piano, and she asked the girl straight up, "Has a boy called for you yet?" And they're like, "No, Miss Mary." And so this makes Mary sad. She goes over to the chest. She pulls out something we can't see. She puts it on. She takes the veil off, and she now has a face. It's like a girl's face. And then she's all like, has anybody called for you yet? And they're like, no. She goes back over. She takes another mask, puts it on. Now she's a completely different girl with a completely different face and voice. And they keep telling her no. She gets upset. She cries. One of the girls runs over with like a pitcher and no, like a bowl or something like that. And her tears fall in the bowl. It's really gross. They're really like slimy looking tears and stuff. Then next thing you know, Mary freaks out. She's like, you're ugly, you're all ugly, because no boy wants you. And then she starts playing her piano again. Then the one girl with the tears puts it in a giant pitcher. She walks out to like where the lake is at, and she pours it in the lake. And it's so slimy and like oily and stuff. So what the lake is a lake of tears. Ew. And it's a big lake too. And so like, so while that's going on, Eric starts to brush his hair with the brush because he thinks maybe that will like, you know, work if he gets into like Mary's world. And then so he's calling out to Hannah, Hannah's calling back out to him, and then he hears her voice and the mirror cracks. And then all of a sudden we don't see him no more. And next thing you know, Mary hears that. She's all like, a boy, we must get ready and everything. So it happens. The group of girls go to find Hannah and they have a rope. One of them has a rope in her hand and they're all like, it's time. And so they tie the rope around her hand. They dragging her to see Mary. And so Hannah's freaking out and Mary's all like, it's time for you to put on your mask and everything because we have a boy coming and everything. A boy has called for you and everything. And so Hannah's all like, I felt sorry for you. Why are you doing it? Let me go home. She's all, and so Mary's not going to let her go home. And so she's struggling with the rope tied around her hand, and the girls are putting the mask on her face. We see Eric. He is like running through the field, and I forget how I think he hears Hannah scream. So then he runs into the barn house. He's looking around. We see Hannah like look dazed and confused on like a chair. She has like no, this is before. She's dazed and confused on the chair and she has like the mask on her face. He takes it off and then it's her regular face. And then he's like, look, Hannah, we gotta get out of here and everything. And then Hannah starts to act weird. She's all like, wait, before we go, tell me about my face. He's like, what are you talking about? Tell me how beautiful I am. And then she goes into this monologue talking about how gorgeous she is and beautiful she is, how she has nice round lips and how her eyes sparkle and her hair does this. And he's just kind of like, it's a nice face, but like, why are you all into yourself? You like you're cute and everything, but it ain't all that. And then she's all like, and then he realizes this can't be Hannah. And he tells her that. She's like, yes, I am. And then you see fire go all around the room. And then next thing you know, I think he pulls like Hannah's face off or something like that. And it's Mary underneath. And Mary's face is gross. It doesn't really look burnt, but it's like all weird and clunky and creamy and slimy and it looks like guacamole. Slimy guacamole with like oil on it and stuff. But it's gross and it's creepy and it's freaky. They couldn't go too scary because this is a kid's show. Let's not forget that. So like the next thing you know, all the girls in the room, they start grabbing onto Eric, talking about pick me, pick me. And then Mary's all like, forget him. And everything. She starts like cackling and playing her piano and everything. And then he hears Hannah's voice. So he shoves the girls off him. He goes into like, I think like a trunk or a closet or something. And he pulls out Hannah. And she has the mask on her face. And she tells Eric she can't see. So he has her in his arms. And he's like, I'm going to get you out of here. And then so the girls are like, pick me, pick me. And then Mary's all like, let him go. Like, she's ugly. She has no face and everything. So the whole building's like burning down and Mary's just playing on her piano. And so he runs out. I love this scene. It's so heroic and angelic looking. It's just the open field. It's nighttime and you see them far away. Eric and Hannah, and she's still wearing the dress and the mask on her face. And her dress is so long and flappy, it's flapping in the wind like it's a cape. It's such a beautiful scene. They walk up to the lake, and oh, I forgot to mention. So when fake Hannah met Jake, she's telling about Mary's world. It's a world of fire and light and dark. And in order to escape this world, you have to go through the lake of tears and everything. But only you can only leave if a boy comes for you and stuff. So he's there with Hannah, and Hannah's like, I can't see, and he's all like, it's gonna be okay, Hannah, it's gonna be okay. So he walks through like the lake of tears, and then it cuts from that, and we see a scene of the group of friends, and they have like a memorial site now for Eric and Hannah with their pictures and stuff near the nook. And then next thing you know, you see them walking out the lake, and she's back in her regular clothes, and she has her face because her mask drifted off into the lake of tears and stuff when they went down under it. So their friends are happy to see them, and they're all excited, right? Then the twist comes at the end. It's Eric. He's in his room. He's working out, and he hears a voice calling out to him. He turns and looks at the mirror in a freaky kind of way. It's Mary. And she's all like, a girl has called for you. And then she like slams on like the mirror and stuff. And it ends. And I'm just like, oh my God. There's no telling what happens to Eric, because there's no like follow up to this. It was ambitious like I don't know what. And this was a kid's show. It was creepy. They went there. It was just cool, man. Like, I love this episode. Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about... Now, wasn't that spooky? Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.